Hello explorers around the world. Today join us as we go through some juicy gossip news, and as always we're going to be talking all about The Bad Batch Season 3 episodes 4 and 5. Stay tuned for more. Welcome to episode 44, and as always, leading the way and piloting the gaze eccentric, it's your favourite Jedi in the pilot seat. It's the old guy Jedi himself, it's Jimmy.
Howdy.
And when she's not training to dismember Jedis and sometimes even Sith, it's the Wayseeker herself, it's Taylor.
Hello there.
And finally, keeping everyone on track with looks to rival that Hayden Christensen, it's myself, Jack.
Should we take a poll on who they think wrote these intros?
Couldn't agree with me. Cool. We'll start with you, Jimmy. How's your week been, buddy?
Well, we like to be honest on this show, so I'm going to be honest. It's been quite possibly the worst week of my life. So if I seem a little bit off, that's why. We had a medical emergency at practice, pretty intense. I've never been part of anything like it before, and I hope never to have to do it again. Now, it has ended positively, like things, people are recovering and all that good stuff. I don't want to go into a lot of detail for their privacy, but I also got to go to Comic-Con yesterday, Planet Comic-Con, and of course, meet up with you guys today. So it's ending better than it started, and we have spring break starts Monday. So, yeah. So if I seem a little bit off, that's probably why. How about you, Jack?
Yeah, not too bad. We've had quite a busy week at work as usual. We had a bit of a regimental dinner night, so I posted some photos on Facebook, which some of you may have seen. Yesterday, a bit more American football, some new bruises to moan about. Again, posted more pictures on Facebook. Absolutely loving that in a minute. And today's obviously Mother's Day in the UK, so happy Mother's Day to any of you listening in the UK.
Ooh, happy Mother's Day.
And speaking of mothers, how's your week been, Taylor?
My week went by so fast, I can't even believe it's Sunday again. But I had an okay-ish week too. It was kind of a rough week at the zoo, but I won't get into it. But yeah, I think today will be a better day for us. And you know what? I have some new explorers for us today. We have Ann Turner, Simon Brown, Jack Hernandez, Courtney Appleton, Zach Petty, and Bryce Rankins.
Awesome. Welcome to the group. As always, make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram. Also, make sure you're inviting any friends, family, whoever it may be. Invite them all and feel free to post as much Star Wars goodness as you can. Again, Explore the Force on Facebook. Welcome to all that have joined us. Wicked. So let's head over then to this week's Force Encounters.
All right, I'll go ahead and start us off. Like I said, rough week, but I did get to go to the 25th anniversary or annual Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City.
Ooh.
So, and it has grown and grown and grown and grown. Actually, a lot of Facebook stuff, people are complaining about how packed it was and how crazy it was. Some cool stuff. Got to go up there, and I will say that because they had the Emperor himself there signing autographs and different things like that, which was a pretty big get. Like they've had Star Wars people, they've always had, but someone to that extent was pretty crazy. And that all sold out. I didn't even bother trying, but I did see a lot more Star Wars just T-shirts in general. People walking around, have some conversations, handed out tons of Explore the Force stickers and things like that. So it was fun. We got to go up there with a couple of our listeners. Eric came up, Danny came up, Greta was with us. She had a great cosplay of Padme from Attack of the Clones. and got lots of photos taken with her. But yeah, so it was a pretty fun, Saturday. So how about you guys?
Yeah, that sounds awesome, mate. Not too much really to go on about. The only thing I've done or started now is the Dark Disciple. Obviously, that amazing interview last week with Mark Thompson. So just carried on the trend of still speaking to Mark Thompson or listening to him at the very least. Really enjoying the Dark Disciple. Really have enjoyed the Dark Disciple. There's a big difference, I think, between the High Republic stuff and the Dark Disciple sort of era.
Yeah.
Obviously, the era is massively different, but just the tone of the books again, just massive credit to the authors and stuff like that. But yeah, no, super
And
enjoyed
that
it.
was and that story is written by George Lucas's daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the idea was that was pretty cool.
nice little fun fact. Taylor, what about you?
This week, Force Encounter, the Defy the Storm book from the High Republic Phase 3 came out on March 5th. I'm already on chapter 31 because it's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm liking it so much. You're getting so many answers, but I won't give anything away. Defy the Storm was written by Tessa Gratton and Justina Ireland together. And it's the third book in order. So we have Escape from Valo, The Eye of Darkness, and then we have Defy the Storm. So I think they were released the other way. Like they were released Eye of Darkness first, but read Escape from Valo first, apparently. So, but yeah, that's been keeping me really busy this whole week. But that's all I have. So.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the news this week, see what's all coming out of Batuu.
Okay, so Twitter has exploded as the Acolyte account has been spotted. Whether it's active or live, it's currently absolutely locked down to death. I've been monitoring it pretty much 22 hours a day. 2 hours of that I've been sleeping, waiting for anything. I'm also hearing rumours that the episodes could last anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes each. So surely, with all this information, all these accounts coming out, there has to be a trailer inbound. The Star Wars fan in me is screaming out for a trailer, so it's coming. It's going to be coming a lot sooner than I think I first said when I said it might be the end of Bad Batch series. It's got to be coming soon, surely. What do we think?
Well, they did it with Mando season 3 in Bad Batch. They weren't afraid to have animation and live action going at the same time, and they released them at the same time. So
Yeah,
I mean, they have a precedent set that they don't mind doing that. So who knows? I hope so. I'm down for some Acolyte as soon as possible. But
oh
also
yeah,
too, because there's rumors about Andor coming at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. Maybe they're moving up their timeline so they can get Acolyte, get Skeleton Crew, and then start Andor, which seems like a crazy amount of Star Wars. I mean, I'm down for it, but
oh my
yeah,
gosh,
maybe. I don't know. I'm excited for it.
I'm
Yeah,
here for it. I want all of it. I just cannot wait to see where all like this whole High Republic era books, all three phases is leading to, right? Because they've sucked us all in with these books. So it's like, how good is this series going to be? And I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited for it.
Awesome. What other news
Yeah.
we got, Taylor?
Daisy Ridley spoke to Collider about the filming of the new Rey film, and she said, I think it could be this year. It could be. I'm not sure. To be honest, I think the writer's strike has obviously delayed quite a lot of things. So the intention was later this year. Hopefully it will be. Otherwise, top of next year, I would imagine. I don't know how much I believe that. It feels like there's just so much other stuff going on right now. I can't see that coming out. We've had no advertisement for it, no talk of it really. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know as well, to be honest, because obviously we've got the Mando stuff. We don't know when that's going to be filmed. Obviously, we heard the rumours that it could be filmed within a period of about 7 to 8 months, I think it was, we said. So that seems pretty short for a film to get done. Again, obviously, they're probably going to be using a lot of volume on that. I don't know. I think everyone's very tight-lipped at the minute. I think there's a lot of things going on, and nobody wants to be that person to spill it unless it's official.
Yeah, possibly.
How are you, Jimmy?
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. This has been a problem. I'm not calling for Kathleen Kennedy's head, but this has been a problem under her reign as far as just the chaos. And this is not an attack on Kathleen Kennedy. This is just saying that like people have, how many times have we either listened to this? How many times have we reported on it now that we're doing our own podcast? So I don't know. It had a lot of momentum, and then all that stuff went down. People blowing up what Charmene said
Yeah.
completely out of context.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna get wound up. As long as we're getting some Star Wars
Yeah.
content. Bad Batch is, feeding the beast right now.
Oh,
So
yes, it
I'll just go
is.
with that, and I'll just deal with that. Whatever's out, I'm gonna watch. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of things releasing or rumored to be releasing.
yeah. Speaking of things releasing, actor Dane, I'm going to butcher this last name, as is our way here. D. Ligro spoke with the direct and said that he took part in a really cool sequence and that his character wouldn't be anything substantial. He also said, when asked about release dates for Skeleton Crew, that I'm hoping for the fall. If I were to guess, that's completely surmising. There's no information behind that. I know that Lucasfilm likes to release things around November-ish, so I'm hoping by then. I've been meaning to reach out to our director, Dave Lowry. He's a friend of mine, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe November. I know Lucasfilm is due for something pretty cool, and I think Skeleton Crew might be that thing. And it's really cool to hear that because it's kind of the same stuff Dawn was saying when she was on our show. Same
Yes.
time period she thinks. She really loved that show. Jack's going to be the biggest fan of it. He's going to be like, he's going to want to. So, but yeah, I hope. I mean, I don't feel like we're getting any information until at least Acolyte starts, right? I mean, they're going to try to focus on one thing, but who
Yeah.
knows? It's Disney, it's
Everyone's
Lucasfilm.
just so tight-lipped about releases, aren't they? Like everyone's sort of saying the same thing. You see the pattern in the news this week with everyone saying they don't know, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think again, it's par for the course with everything that we've talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, the last few weeks, it's just the same thing. Like, when's this going to happen? When's that going to happen? And you know, it is the day and age that we live in. If you think about, well, not you guys, but growing up, I had to wait 3 years in between movies. I mean, even
Yeah.
the prequels, you had to wait without a lot of information coming out. So I think we are spoiled by the internet, by social
Yeah.
media,
Yeah.
and I guess being old and being Jedi-like and patient will be an advantage for me in this category. So,
Yes,
but
master.
But yeah, what do you guys? I mean, any thoughts on this? I mean, it just sounds like the same as usual.
Yeah. Nah, totally down with you on that, mate. I'll just leave it at that. It is the same as usual. Someone knows something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw this like silly meme and it was like these two people lost on an island and they're like, what are we going to do? We can't get off. And this guy was like, wait, here, buy this from me. And it was like from Disney or something. And then the Disney helicopter flies over like, hey, and they're like, we're saved. So I don't know. So you're right. Someone somewhere knows something and they're actually just good at hiding it. It better be worth it. Like it better be a really good story or a good surprise.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, it sounds like from everything we've heard, I mean, that's good. And then the last bit of news I've got, Hot Toys has unveiled 2 new collectibles from the Ahsoka
Ooh.
series. My man Balin Skull and Shin Hati. These things
Oh,
look. I know Jack
Really good.
messaged me on Facebook with it, and this thing looks. The Balin Skull one looks so good,
Really good.
so lifelike. I was like, oh my gosh! Like I've never been one to drop that kind of money on one collectible,
Yeah.
but that might change given the fact
maybe.
that my man Crush, the coolest Jedi out there, Balin Skull,
It
uh,
looks
his
incredible.
looks great. Shin looks great. I mean, compared to like the Black series, these things
Yeah.
are amazing. So, have you guys seen them?
No, I think I need to go back and look because I must have missed that, or unless it was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to look because usually I just go to Toy Traders and they have their new stuff out on display and like you can just see it. It's not just a
Oh,
picture of it, and it's just like,
I love
oh,
hot toy stuff. I spend hours just looking at hot toy sideshow stuff all the time, thinking, what if I had the money? Where would I put this? How can I hide this from the wife?
like a secret panel in the wall.
this, yeah.
Yeah,
And
one
you
day.
got your military barracks. You can start stashing stuff there, right?
Oh my
Good
Uh-oh.
shout, Jimmy, but I wouldn't do that. Anyway, moving on swiftly. The last little bit of news we've got is when this episode obviously gets recorded and pushed out. It'd be the 12th, I believe. Don't forget tomorrow or today, depending if you listen to it on a Wednesday, is the release of Star Wars Battlefront Collection.
Oh, that's
I'll be
right.
getting that on PC. So
Ooh.
anyone wishing to join, we'll get some explorers on. We'll group up and we'll take the fight to the separatists, or we'll take the fight to the Republic, the Empire, or the Rebellion, whatever team we get joined up on.
All right, so we've got 2 more exciting episodes of the Bad Batch. This next one called, A Different Approach,
Mm.
created by Dave Filoni, Jennifer Corbett, written by Ezra Nachman, and story by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that guy's name, but so what did you guys, yeah, I know. This is the way on
Yeah.
Explore the Forest, is not knowing how to pronounce people's names properly. So,
Mm.
but overall, you guys, so we got those first 3 episodes, and now we've got to sit with episodes 4 and episodes 5, which it has its positives and negatives, not getting to binge all everything, and
Mm.
getting to sit on a single episode for a week. What did you guys think overall, real quick, just on episode 4, A Different Approach?
I really liked it. I like the little golden nuggets again of certain things popping up throughout, but I like to see. I know it's called a different approach, but I did like to see the different approach to their plans, so to speak. Not very gun ho to begin with, I think. Um, I really like the introduction again of looking at different life, how people are getting on during the reign of the Empire and stuff like that. I thought that's really good to
Mm.
see, and just how corrupt the Empire are, even
Oh,
their
yeah.
officers. And I like the little gem of the Imperial officer being British as well. I thought it was fantastic. Uh,
You know where I stand on that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely fantastic. Uh, yeah, no, I thought that was really funny. I'm still trying not to get too connected to Batcher as well. Need to stay
Oh,
away from that
gosh.
thing.
She.
Um, but yeah, big fan. Quite like the episode. Loved the little porg noises as well. I thought I was hearing things to begin with. Didn't actually see any porgs. I don't know if they were in there, but definitely 100% heard them. Uh, and I'm starting to think that Amiga is definitely has the force. She's got to have the force with the animals and the connections and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's starting to come out a bit more. What about you, Taylor? What do you think of it?
Um, I actually really liked this episode. And I know she was just kind of Omega was in just playing a card game for most of it, and it's just her and um, Crosshair just trying to make their way through this, on this planet on their way to somewhere else. But there was a lot of little things in this. Like I really liked seeing the bridging between the prequels and the originals. I thought it had a
Yeah,
lot of Andor vibes, right? Like as you were saying, Jack, with like the Imperial presence and like they're so fat and satisfied, like that, like really that guy, like mm. British guy.
yeah, big time.
But I really like that and like the spaceport and like the bribery and stuff with like the um with them not having the codes, like that reminded me so much of Solo, obviously.
Mm.
Um and I kind of looked up the game because that they were playing because it's not Savak, which we see
No, it's a
everywhere,
brand new
right?
card game.
Brand new card game. The creators actually they made this game for this episode and they even printed out all the cards and they even played it and it has like rules and everything and they even said like it is addictive, like this would be a gambling game. So I didn't read how to do it because I didn't have time to, but um Yeah, I liked it when they did rescue all the animals, or they rescued Batcher, and then all the animals just happened to be in the
Yeah.
same like warehouse. You did hear a lot of different animal noises. You heard porgs. I heard a varactyl, which is what Obi-Wan rides when he gets shot
Yeah.
off by Commander Cody. Blast him, right? Like,
Yeah.
so we didn't see any of the animals, but we heard a lot of the creatures. I think there was a couple other noises that we heard too, but yeah, it was a good one. I liked that episode.
It,
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. You guys, yeah, this episode was good. It was a little weird for me. Like, we had like an hour and a half, hour, or a full hour of Bad Batch the week before. Then we got one episode, and I was kind of
Yeah.
like, huh, But it is kind of fun to sit on it and watch it, and you can go back and you can kind of see it again because I mean it's hard to rewatch 3 episodes
Mm.
for the show, but I really liked it. The different approach, the title of it, watching these two characters have to work together. Was really really good, and I guess we should say right now too, like full spoiler warnings,
Oh,
but
oops.
because
Sorry.
we really haven't given a ton away. But um, I have a couple questions for you guys. No, I think it's fine. But at this point, this one's like almost 3 weeks old now. But
Yeah.
like watching those two because you have like the light and the dark basically. Like it seems like everywhere Omega goes, she never gives up, and she's always rewarded for it. Are they setting
Yeah.
us up for a big fall? Because like Jack, you've already said like you can't get attached to Batcher because you don't know. And I can't help myself but get attached to Batcher, you know,
You're a
automatically.
dog
But
dad.
I am a dog dad, so are they setting us up? Because every time she's positive and she fights back and she has her approach, even when things look the worst, are we being set up for something big? Like, because every time she pushes through and everything always seems to work out for her. And we've seen the titles of some of the upcoming episodes. Are we being set up for a big like just getting like you said, we're getting 2 episodes this week, so this comes out on Tuesday, so tomorrow,
Ooh.
2 episodes. Are we going to have the rug pulled out from underneath us because we're almost to the midway point?
Wow.
yeah. I think,
I kind of hope so.
yeah, dark times are coming. I think we're going to potentially lose someone from the Bad Batch, 100%. Because as well, what I find interesting at the minute with this, especially this episode, is you see a completely different approach from Crosshair. Because first few episodes of this season, Crosshair doesn't really trust Amiga. He's given up hope, etc., etc. He just wants to get away. This point in time, they get the money, they get what they need to get out. However, Amiga, being the all things good and everything, won't leave Batcher, and she chucks the coins to Crosshair. Goes, well, if you want to go, go. Other than that, I'm going to go rescue Batcher. And he does. They both turn the different directions, and I think a
Hmm.
lot of people then start thinking, well, Crosshair's just the same Crosshair. Then obviously you have that scene where he's actually no, he comes back to help Amiga, and you're like, yes, yes, he's back. And then yeah, he sort of, how can I put this, redeems himself to an extent in the eyes of people that are watching and think, yeah, he's come back to be the Bad Batch. I won't touch on it just yet, but that end scene is just powerful.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, also, I really, really love all of Star Wars music. So every time a new like mini album or whatever comes out for different series, I'm always listening to it. So I noticed that Crosshair's music, his theme music has changed. So he's got like bad Crosshair music that you hear, and it's just like it's a completely different rhythm to when he's like it's his like theme music. So his old good theme music is coming back, and like you can see like how he's thinking about stuff, like when he's thinking about why Omega is just the way she is. And and the success of this episode of them together was not being good or being bad. It was both of them together sacrificing a little bit. So Omega couldn't be perfect and save every single person, and Crosshair couldn't kill every single person, but together they were able to do it. So they both had to come at it from a different point of view to get where they needed to be. So I liked this episode a lot.
Yeah, those are all really good points. does it make sense? I don't know who I talked to. I think maybe it was Eric when we were watching it. But does it make sense that because they had that set up either in season 1 or season 2 with Omega learning, was it Dejeric, and she's beating everybody and she's winning
Yeah.
money. They come in and
I
like, this
guess
isn't low
season 2.
profile. So season 2. So is it weird that, or is it showing how good she is and how like, I mean, is she becoming? God, I hate to say this, and I'm not. I don't think this, but is she becoming almost a Mary Sue, where like she can just do everything? You know what I mean? So and I don't mean that in a negative way because I don't think so. I love the strong development of her. I love where she's
Hmm.
going, but she does seem to be able to do exactly whatever she needs to do. Like or someone comes along and helps her, which I
The
think is
force is
great.
with
But
her.
um, the force is with her, maybe, especially
Yeah,
with that M count
or
apparently.
like
But
that character
so,
in Deadpool that just that girl just has luck and just everything
oh
happens.
yeah,
Like she goes to get
yes.
shot in the head and the gun like just jams or whatever. Like she just has luck like that. I don't know why, but that
The thing is
superpower
with
is
her,
so good.
she's the cream of the cream of the clones. Like she's pure. She's the purest clone.
She is
Um,
the
Yeah.
Omega.
so I think she's very adaptive. Where she gets shown or taught something, she can pick it up straight away, and she
Mm.
adapts
Yeah.
very well to her learning skills. But also with that card game, I wasn't sure, but I think she was using Batcher to begin with to cheat because Batcher was stood behind, wasn't he? The people playing the cards and that, and I'm sure the officer told her to move the pet or
She
whatever
was
it was.
distracting him, but then it was him and his men who came back and stole her after.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think he was
Uh,
planning like, oh, that'll catch a few credits in my warehouse of random exports.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was a good thing to see as well. Like I say, the Empire and how corrupt they are. He finds them for gambling, even though he's just been gambling
I
himself.
know.
Yeah, like,
Golly.
oh well, now you got to pay your fine. Like, oh,
Yeah. Big fan of that.
Yeah, there is a lot, like you guys said. There's a lot of tie-ins with Solo in this episode, with how you see the Empire just kind of running things, and a lot with Andor as well.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
We said that I think when we talked about the first 3 episodes with Lex, like how dark and like gritty this has been, and it hasn't. It's a little bit lighter now, but it
Yeah,
still has that dark feel to
yeah,
it. I don't know if it's
yeah,
gonna lighten up. Um,
no,
so, because I don't think, I mean, we're going to talk about episode 5 here in a little bit, but I don't feel like that really loosened up or lightened up at all. Still
mm,
kind of lots of tension,
yeah,
lots of things to work out. Um, it
no.
gives me hope, though, that this whole season is going to be phenomenal because, uh, like they kind of seem like filler episodes in a way, but they're driving that story,
Yeah,
with
mm-hmm.
all this development. Just, I, we've said it before. Like, is Omega going to be like a fan favorite? Like, she's gone from. I don't think people disliked her the way they disliked Ahsoka when she first came out,
No,
but we're going to see like this strong,
they've got to
character
be
of
clever.
Omega.
I mean, they're bringing all these characters back, and all this stuff's happening before Return of the Jedi and the sequels. So they've got to be clever in how they're bringing them back, and then explaining where they are during everything. Obviously, the
mm.
Yeah,
galaxy is
it's
a
important.
massive place.
Yeah,
They've sorted that with Ahsoka, as in she's in a different galaxy altogether. So the sequel was sort of sorted to a degree. But then it doesn't explain Ezra and Hera, and I think the Ghost was in the Rise of Skywalker anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
they've got to be clever in what they're doing, which they have been to an extent now. But like you said, Jimmy, as well, the vibes of Doom are all over this season because again,
Hmm.
us fans are our own worst enemy, and yeah, in our heads we
mm-hmm.
know they go. But that's the thing: do they go? Do they die? Every episode we wait for someone to die. It's all doom and gloom, um, and that's what brings me on to the next bit of that end scene. That they finally reunite with Crosshair. The music, the score, the way they zoom out and they have the two ships, and then the characters
Yeah,
looking towards each other is amazing. They absolutely hit the nail on the head there, and it was brilliant to see. Omega's trying to be the peacekeeper, so to speak, but Hunter and Wrecker they're not quite sure. I think that'll lead us nicely into the next episode.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah. So episode 4 maintains the intensity. I think, the humanity of this show. We talked about it off air a little bit. This animation is how human they're making these characters for animation is just blowing me away. And I think that it, like we said, leading into the next episode, the return, which I think has lots of meanings.
Yeah.
Again, Dave
Mm.
Filoni created, Jennifer Corbett developed. This one is written by Amanda Rose Munoz. So full spoiler alerts again for episode 5, season 3 of the Bad Batch. We get to see, Echo shows up. We've got some other
Hmm.
things happening. So we did not see the boys yet. We haven't seen the young clones since episode 3. I was kind of expecting to see them, I guess, for some reason. But
Yeah,
overall,
right.
what's your take? Are you still as happy as you were with episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4? How are we feeling about episode 5?
Go on, Taylor.
I don't know. I don't want to say this one was a filler because I hate calling stuff filler because honestly, I enjoy all of it regardless. Um, but there wasn't as much like little hidden Easter eggy things in this episode as the last episode, or maybe I'm just not seeing them as well. But I still like this episode. There was still a lot of good things in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this episode, and I'm glad Taylor thinks it's a filler. I know a lot of people might think it's a filler as well, but I actually don't think it's a filler episode. And I've got my reasons for thinking that, because I think this episode is the episode that makes the Bad Batch come together. Again, obviously, we've already mentioned spoilers, but with
Mm.
everything that happens and the ending, you get that feeling that, right, the Bad Batch are back. What's next? Because they have got
The
everyone back
boys are
together.
back in town.
Yeah, everyone is back together. It starts off hunky dory, where they're all eating on the Pabu,
Hmm.
and everyone's happy, and you just think, for me personally, every time I see Pabu, I'm just waiting for a Star Destroyer just to
Oh, I know. It's like
like
the
Oh,
it's
the
keep getting killed,
anticipation of
man.
the Empire. Yeah, the anticipation of the Empire showing up that place. I might
Yeah,
cry when it shows up.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the only one
yeah.
that thinks that. I just keep wa-
You know what?
keep waiting for it.
Pabu looks Pabu looks exactly like New Zealand.
Yeah.
So my husband watches these like fishing shows, and he's like watching this helicopter view, and it's totally Pabu, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's totally real. And he's like, no, this is New Zealand. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But a nice little fishing town. That's so cool. But like, you got to think, what would the Empire take from there? What are they going to gain? The fishing town?
Well,
Yeah.
they're still looking for the Bad Batch, though. They don't care about. They just want to
No,
level it.
something's going to happen
Yeah.
there. But yes, I
Oh.
don't think it's a filler episode at all because of that. I like the fact that it starts out and it shows the trauma that's affected Crosshair, because obviously he's practicing his shoot, and this guy could shoot, a nail through.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just an absolute ace of a shot, hence his name. Now
Yeah.
he can't hit for Jack, so it's troubling to see as well. You can see as well that the trust isn't there. You see Omega go down to him, and then he looks up. The Bad Batch are watching him, etc. And as well throughout, Wrecker's trying his hardest as well. He just wants to get over it. He wants to bring the family together. He's like a big brother. I think
Yeah.
that's the figure that I get from Wrecker. And
Yeah.
it's good. It's good to see Echo as well when Echo arrives. You learn where he's been and how busy Echo's been and what he's been up to. Sort of mention other things as well. And yeah, the first little bit, just like Taylor said, yes, a little bit of a filler, but for me, it's setting the scene now. It's getting the crew back together.
Mm.
Yeah, I think too. I know Star Wars is all about redemption, and sometimes I'm kind of over it. I'll be honest. Like I'm not the biggest. Let bad people be bad people. Like there's people in the world that are bad, and they just inherently they may think they're doing the right thing, but they're doing the wrong. But
Mm.
if anyone has earned a redemption in the last 10 years of Star Wars, outside of Darth Vader, it's probably Crosshair after everything he's gone through in season 2, and
Yeah.
the title "The Return." Is that the return of the Bad Batch together? Is that the return of Echo? Is that the return of heading back to this planet, which is the name is escaping me? But this is the place where he has that super powerful episode with the clone Mayday, and
Yeah,
then gets himself in trouble. Um, and
Oh,
the whole
right.
reason he gets arrested
yeah,
is he kills that officer and that's kind of where he breaks and he realizes that all
yeah,
right, there is more because that whole season of season 2. I mean, you had Cody and you had Hauser, you had a couple other clones who were all kind of standing up and being like, "Whoa, like I know we're soldiers, but at some point, and there's all kinds of ties into that stuff too. If you want to sit there historically looking at like the Nazis and things like that, like someone has to step up and say no, right?
Yeah.
So these clones are
Mhm.
stepping up and saying no, and Crosshair is determined to do what he was made to do, but eventually on that planet, after all the stuff he goes through with Mayday, he just kind of snaps. And for him to come back there and then, of
Mm.
course, show that humanity during that one part of the scene where he's picking up all those helmets and he has Mayday's helmet in his hand. I mean, that was
Yeah.
like gut wrenching. Again, I'm watching these with Eric. He actually waited for me because, like you said, everything crazy happened on Wednesday. So I didn't get to watch it till Thursday, and he actually waited for me so we could watch it. And
Oh, thanks, Eric.
yeah, it was really nice of him. But we were both like, that's emotional. Like, like holy crap, like seeing him hold that helmet and just kind of thinking about Mayday. And then of course you got Hunter, and like for the first time for me, I'm like yelling at Hunter, like, leave him alone, man. He's been through it. So it's kind of on
Yeah.
Crosshair's side. So that's really good writing by was it Rachel, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good writing on her part to make like the flip the narrative, because this whole time we've hated Crosshair for the most part, but now we're like, leave Crosshair alone. We're kind of on the Omega side of
Yeah.
things now, like he's been through it. So but yeah, I thought this was a
Yeah.
super powerful. It did kind of have a fillery aspect, but also that humanity that we talked about earlier. Like I think this is a huge thing. Like Jack said, like this is bringing the Bad Batch back together. And kind of like we said about episode 4, are they setting us up just to tear the rug out from underneath us and make us cry a little bit harder?
Oh.
Like you said as well, the Planet Barton 4, it's the I said it, and Jedi Knight Lex said it as well. It's our favourite episode from season 2, the
Mm-hmm.
Outpost. And like you mentioned, you're seeing all the old stuff crop up again. Something we mentioned when we weren't recording is I didn't realise till I seen a picture that the base that they go inside of, where they dig down to get the door, in the second season, you have to go. They go upstairs to get inside the base, and it shows the amount of snow that's dropped. It's like over, I don't know, but it's like 100 feet worth of snow's just come in. Obviously, they've been
Yeah,
gone
they're
for a
digging their
while.
way in.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was brilliant just to show out its age, so to speak. Something else I loved as well was Wrecker, where he'd kept Crosshair's armour and he gave his armour back to him for him to come out and try that. I thought that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Hunter. So for me, really, more so in season 2, I reckon, so to speak, is I feel like I don't really know Hunter. Like you don't really see or get much from him. Like as a leader, and that's it. Like nothing.
Mm.
I feel like in this episode you actually saw more emotion from Hunter than any other episode as well. He really does come out, and you can tell he really does care about the team, etc. And how annoyed he was that he broke that trust.
Mm.
So for me, there's quite um, a lot of dialogue and good stuff from Hunter, getting to know him more. Wrecker's Wrecker throughout as normal, leading the way.
I love Wrecker.
Yeah,
I just can't. I just love it.
Wrecker's awesome. Wrecker's awesome. Obviously, Echo's there as well, fulfilling his purposes as always. I don't think we've got long left with Echo, if I'm honest. I don't know, because it just depends on what can they do, or what do they bring to the party now that if they lose, they miss massively. Obviously, Tech and Echo are quite
Yeah.
similar.
They're the
One of those two
closest
is
to
going
each
to miss
other,
it.
right?
Yeah, so the only other one really I think makes sense would be Wrecker, which I think Wrecker's next.
No!
Oh
Oh my gosh.
man,
This
I still
episode
think
had so many moments for me. You open up right away and Omega's like cuddling Wrecker's like teddy bear thing. Like she's finally got her teddy bear thing back, right? Like it's not like the sewed together one out of grass that she's been using for like a year. So like right away I was just like, oh, like, and then when Wrecker comes out with Crosshair's armor and he's like, well, we didn't think we could get rid of it. And he's like, and it was just like, oh, they kept it all this time, even though they like hated him, right?
yeah.
So that was like a oh moment for me. Um, I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're like in the snow and there's like a lot of white background. But this episode, Omega's eyebrows like really bothered me. Like her hair is like bleach blonde, But her eyebrows are like black. That's not how hair grows. Come on, ladies. You all know this, right? We're all noticing. Guys don't notice. They don't notice.
I
But
I
did
had
not
no
notice that,
idea.
Taylor.
but
Yeah,
Taylor
no
opening
besides,
in our eyes. Thank you,
well,
Taylor.
you know what? Omega's like bleaching her hair in the vac tube down back in there somewhere. Cause like you don't just grow naturally bleach blonde hair and like black eyebrows, okay? And even like her sisters are like dark brown hair, right? So I don't know. Whatever. Little thing I noticed. Also, this episode gave me like major Tremors vibes, like, A Cold Day in Hell with like the big underground, what is it? The
The
Tremor.
worm. It's just a worm,
The
basically.
worm.
Big
That.
worm. Yeah, they even called it a worm in Tremors
Yeah.
too. And I just got so many vibes from that. But another thing that I did notice that bothered me was not to just keep pointing out stuff, but when they first get off the ship, the beacons or the little like the fence that is keeping out the monsters and the birds and all that stuff, it bothers Batcher at first.
Mhm.
But then when they're racing through and the thing's right behind them and they just jump and they just activate it and they just cleared the little fence line and they turned it back on.
Yeah, I noticed that
And
too.
Betcher's like jumping around like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're standing 10 feet away from it. And this big giant monster is like, nope, I'm turning around and going back. So
That's why they activated it. So on that's why they activated it when the worm was on the outside rather than the inside, because it landed inside. It wouldn't have
yeah,
had any
but
Yeah.
but when they got off the ship, she was affected by it from the inside
Mhm.
at
Okay.
first, and they were
Yeah,
so
I see
far
your point.
away.
I thought about that too, Taylor. I thought maybe the fact that maybe dogs are Luca hounds are maybe very similar to dogs, but they're more worried about being alive and protecting their people. But yeah, I saw that too. Like all of a sudden, it
Yeah,
didn't bother her. I
yeah,
got
right.
major Dune vibes from this. The sandworms from Dune, given
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Dune came out. So that's what we're like. Oh, because we were like supposed to go see that this weekend and stuff, but I haven't got to see that yet. But yeah, I got major
Oh,
Dune vibes. I thought it was pretty cool. Good timing by Dave. And again, just showing Dave. I know he helped create. And you got all these other writers, but I'm sure he's like, well, I want this or I want that, and just his influences, like we've talked about 1,000 times in this show. Just pulling from stuff, it's so cool to see that, and kind of an homage. I mean, people will say, "Well, he's ripping off Dune," but I think he's just kind of paying respect for what came first,
Yeah.
which people will
yeah.
start paying respect to Star Wars eventually as well. But yeah, so I did notice that one. To be honest, I didn't notice the eyebrow thing. But Taylor, that's why you're on this podcast, girl. Hot takes by Taylor. So
Dogs and eyebrows.
yeah.
Nice. So
Hey, I work at the zoo. I observe the animals and how they feel. Okay.
eyebrows is the first thing you look at. So
Self care.
yeah, just before we wrap it up, then predictions. Obviously, we're getting a double dose of Bad Batch. Who's the next Bad Batch member to snuff it? Again, me. I'm going for Wrecker. What about you, Jimmy?
Oh God. First off, do we think it's going to happen in the next 2 episodes? Because we would be close to the halfway
Why
point.
would they give us two?
Oh,
Like, are we getting a
I know.
break
That's what
now
I'm.
for like?
Uh, no. It's every week until it's over. There's another
Yeah.
chance. There's another time where they're going to show us two as well. I think. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I know we reported on it, but 2 episodes makes me real nervous. I think maybe something bad's going to happen.
Oh boy.
I say there's more clones helping Echo and Rex, and one of them is gonna bite it. That handsome Hauser guy that Taylor had a little crush on in season 2. He's gonna bite it, and Taylor's gonna be like, "No!"
No.
So that's my prediction.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like they're putting so much onto Crosshair right now. Like he's seeing what's right and what's wrong, and they're all starting to like reconnect, and he's back wearing his old armor again, walks off the ship. Like so cool, right? Like goosebumps. So, whoa, he's wearing his old stuff again, old music. I think he's gonna sacrifice himself for them, and then Hunter is finally going to forgive him. So we just get him back for like 3 episodes or 4 or 5, and then he's he's gonna sacrifice himself and save all of them, and Omega's gonna be like, "I told you." That's my prediction.
Who knows? I think that's pretty much everything, Jimmy. Anything else?
I think so. We do have an exciting, those cameos that we saw. Do we think like Cad Bane, Fennec Shand, or I don't know, Asajj Ventress are going to show up in these next 2 episodes?
Oh my goodness.
Who knows?
Something's going to
Someone
happen
knows.
because why would we get 2 episodes?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do have a source that's kind of close to the topic, and I'm not going to say who or what, but they may or may not have winked at me or given me did not state like when this was going to happen, just that there's probably more to it than what we're going to see, and maybe we get Asajj these next 2 episodes. Who knows?
Ooh.
I'm kind of excited. Like I'm not giving away anything. I didn't get like a direct yes. She's going to be in this episode. We did get some information that we'll talk about later on. I don't want to give anything away, but yeah. So I'm hoping that we get one of those cameos, and I'm hoping that it's maybe Asajj, and maybe if the Brandalorian gets his way, Quinlan will be beside her.
Gwynlyn, I just finished reading Dark Disciple and it is so good. Oh my gosh. I hope they connect the
Yeah,
two.
I'm partway through it.
So, but yeah.
Awesome. Happy days then. So that pretty much wraps up this week's show. Hopefully, stay tuned for next week where we will be having our special guest. We'll keep dropping hints. There's always hints going on, especially with the clues that we're dropping out and the shirts that we're wearing. Hint again. As always, feel free to get up the social medias. Let us know who you think is going to snuff it next in Bad Batch. Let us know as well if you think Asajj is going to turn up, perhaps with or without Quinlan as well. Again, hit us up on Explore the Force at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. Please like, share, and subscribe. It means so much to us. And leave any form of feedback on any of the pages, any questions, anything like that. And if you want to come on the show again, just email us up. Let us know. exploretheforce@gmail.com. So, as always, from Taylor.
For light and life.
And from myself, good soldiers follow orders.
That's an excellent one.
Mm.
And for all of us, we have spoken. See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Thanks.